I'd like to call the Madison City Council March 28th City Council meeting to order, please, and we'll start with the invocation with Robin Kramer.
That's right. Father God, we just ask you to bring your presence among this meeting tonight, Lord. We ask that you will fill our heads with your wisdom, Lord, fill our words with your acts of kindness, Lord. We just ask that you give us a spirit of servanthood. Lord, be with our men and women who are out serving as first responders this evening, and keep your hand of protection upon them. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. And would you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get the roll call, please?
Mayor Finley?
Here.
Councilmember Robleski?
Here.
Councilmember Spears?
Here.
Councilmember Powell?
Here.
Councilmember Shaw?
Here.
Councilmember Bartlett?
Here.
Councilmember Denzine?
Here.
Councilmember Seifert?
Here. We have a quorum, and so we will move forward. Are there any changes to the printed agenda?
Oh, yes. Under boards and committees, we have an appointment.
No. All right, number 6. All right.
Who is it?
Oh, it's for IDB, Kent Ballard. Place 4.
Place 4. All right, we'll add that to it. Other than that, we'll move forward as printed. And can I get approval for minutes of March 14th meeting?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Powell?
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski?
Aye.
Councilmember President Shaw?
Aye.
Councilmember Spears? Oh.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett?
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine?
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert?
Aye. Motion passes. So we'll move into presentation and awards, and we'll start with the Woman-Owned Business Day.
Let's go. And Miss Alice Westman, I know, and team are coming up here if I'm not mistaken. Come on. Glad you guys are coming up. Anything we are able to do with these proclamations, and in this case, this is for Woman-Owned Business Day. And I'll read a couple of statistics. Women own nearly 13 million firms in the United States, employing more than 9.4 million workers, generating more than $1.9 trillion in sales as of 2019. Between 2014 and 19, the number of women-owned businesses climbed 21% to a total of nearly 13 million, and Alabama is 15th in the nation. Hey, look at you guys. In the nation for women-owned businesses with a growth rate of 42%. So in this case, in Madison, Madison has 1,214 women-owned firms as of 2017. March is recognized as Women in History Month, and so therefore, I popularly here in the city of Madison do hereby proclaim the day of March 30th, 2022 as Women-Owned Business Day in the city of Madison. And I'm happy to present that.
There you go.
What do you think, y'all? I'm not really good at that. 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much.
I don't have to.
Oh my goodness. What they think of your proclamation?
Thank you, Mayor Finley, and thank you all the elected leaders here and the community that in attendance today. My name is Alka Bhargav, and I am the chair of the Women Business Council at the Huntsville Madison Chamber of Commerce. And we are thrilled to be here today for this proclamation by the mayor. Thank you so much. As the mayor said, there is such a huge impact of women-owned businesses in our community, and our women
so much. Very good.
And also, we actually putting the microphone in place, we'll talk about one more, woman, and that is Sue Martin, who has 25 years with our city, and we are so proud of you and all that you do for our court. She's in here every Thursday and Friday with people who really, really, really don't want to be here. And her and her team, when they come in here, I can tell you over the last 2 years at least, maybe 3, I don't have a phone call, an email from any one of the officials. They worked through COVID and did new things. One, we had to shut down court, and then when we opened it back up, the scheduling, as you can imagine, they've implemented so many different new things from that, from texting and all kinds of things just to make it easier for folks. Bottom line is innovation and expedience will come through here. We appreciate everything you've done for the last 25 years. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
All right, next we have a presentation from Ballcorps with their annual Trash Panda review and update.
I did an extra.
Do what?
I did an extra one.
Yes, okay. Very well worth it.
Mayor, council, staff, public, thanks for letting me put this presentation here together.
You got it. You just make sure it's turned on.
Okay.
On the side, I think.
Okay. Good. All right, well, 2021, obviously we had our first season. Finally got it underway after a long wait, I guess. 2018, I think, is when this thing got rolling. I showed up June in 2019, and you know, we hit the ground running, and then came to a screeching halt there in 2020, like the rest of the world. But here's just kind of the table of contents. We'll just jump right into it.
There you go. It's going. You got it.
All right, so first of all, we just want to thank the city and all the North Alabama, Southern Tennessee area for all their support this season, and the last couple of years as well, just getting this ball rolling. Kind of who we are in a glance, we're the AA affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels. We played in the AA South last year, and I don't know if you saw the press release, but we are now back in the Southern League, which is, I think, is a big step in the right direction. We relocated from Mobile, Alabama, up to Madison. We rebranded from the Bay Bears to the Rocket City Trash Pandas. First game we finally got up in Chattanooga on May 5th. Played the Chattanooga Lookouts out there, and then we finally got our first home game, which Mayor and I spent a lot of time in the parking lot scratching our
That's exactly right.
on May 11th, and so we improved quickly right after that, so with good teamwork. So our brand, again, we led all of AA in average attendance, and came in top 10 overall in the country in average attendance. At nearly 200 and thank you. We had nearly 275,000 fans come through Toyota Field just for baseball games alone. We have a bunch of sellouts. 7,500 is our capacity. Only a little over 4,000 fixed seats. So there's a lot of people people want seats, and sometimes if they can't get a seat, then they either have to sit on the berm or try to come to another game. So, all right. We got a lot of national media this year. A lot to do with our name, a lot to do with the city, on how this area is growing. I mean, that's a lot of good publicity, throughout the whole entire year. So, all right. All right. We're finally off after 978 days after the name of the team name was unveiled back in 2018. We beat a whole bunch of large markets in attendance, like Charlotte, Durham, Oklahoma City, Salt Lake. Birmingham, Memphis, Jacksonville, San Antonio. So we beat those cities in average attendance this year. We only got 48 games in. A lot of people ask me if I think we would be after at this point in time, and the answer is no. We were supposed to have 140 games in by now, and we've only had 48. And we lost 12 games to COVID and rain, split half and half, six to COVID and six to rain. So we lost 12 games this season, which was most of the season. It seems like it was you check the weather. If it was raining, we were at home, and if it was nice, we were on the road. All right, launch to the league. Again, we're the AA affiliate of the Angels. We are here to provide the Angels AA level players a place to play. This number is pretty outstanding. We had 10 Trash Panda players make it to the Los Angeles Angels, from the time that they started here and moved their way back up. Angels didn't do that well this year, so they had a lot of AA players moving up real quick, but Lindsey Knupp and I were just at spring training, saw a lot of these guys at spring training, and they're yelling from the outfield, "Hey, Rocket City!" So it was pretty cool to see those guys getting ready for the season now that the lockout is over. Fireworks shows. We had 21 last year. We've tried to dial it down for our neighbors a little bit, especially the neighbors that had houses way before Toyota Field was built. We tried to keep, we kind of lowered the concussions, I guess. Fireworks are still out, and we do have a lot of them. They bring a lot of people out. We get a lot of compliments on the shows, but we try to keep them as low as possible, but at the same time, they're fireworks and they're going to be loud. But we got a lot of rave reviews on our shows this year. So, all right, year-round events. We thrived on this in 2020, and we did a lot of things that, if it worked in 2020, you'd think it'd work in 2021. Well, that's not always the case. We were the only movie theater in town in 2020. So we did really well in 2020 in movies, movie nights and stuff like that. 2021, not as well. We did some concerts, we did weddings, again, fireworks shows, beer and wine festival, 5K races, a whole bunch of holiday parties. Of course, the Christmas light show was popular again this year. Not as popular as the year before, but because, again, 2020, we were the only thing kind of going on. Botanical Gardens had their show going on as well. And this year we still did really, really well. And it's going to be something that we continue doing for the foreseeable future. So, all right, this is what I think everyone's here to see, or at least a lot of folks. The revenue sharing with the city, naming rights, non-baseball events, parking, our base rent that we pay to the city, the tickets, which is the percentage rent, anything over 250,000 tickets. Again, we only had 48 games. We averaged 57.26, I believe the number was. So if we add another 21 games at that rate, that number will go up significantly. The sales tax, and just not that it goes towards the revenue that we pay to the city, but we are alone. The Trash Pandas paid over almost $350,000 in hotel rooms this year. And that doesn't include when the Angels come to town. They book their own rooms. We ask them to use, local hotels here. And anytime the parents or family members and stuff like that. So I think we bring in, a lot of hotel nights as well to the area. So. All right. One of my favorite parts is the community engagement. With COVID now kind of relaxing a little bit, we're hoping to get into schools. We weren't able to get into schools for a long period of time, so we had to get creative. But we love honoring our military. Military appreciation. Each Sunday at Toyota Field is Military Appreciation Day. And our players wear the camouflage jerseys that is a big hit in our retail store as well. We see a lot of those walking around town. And then also on 9/11, we have the USA Patriots. It's a USA amputee softball team. If you guys haven't been able go out and see that. It's a pretty amazing event. Play against our Bearded Warriors, which is a local nonprofit here in town. We've done that for a couple of years. Both events has been pretty special to see. So, all right, jersey auctions. We had 5 jersey auctions last year. We raised over $71,000 to local nonprofits. Just by our players wearing those jerseys on the field during the game, and during the game there's a live auction going on, and you can see Armed Forces Night, Space jersey, 90s Night, superhero jersey, and a Huntsville Havoc jersey, and we had went to those groups that are listed there. We plan on doing those again this year. So, dog days, we had upwards of 200 dogs every once in a while come in on Wednesdays, and it's a local nonprofit, get the $1 ticket per dog, so it's just kind of it goes back to the Humane Society and Friends of Rescue and New Leash on Life, those groups there. So, all right, okay, nonprofits. These folks were a big asset to us this year. They jumped in our concession stands. We are not immune to the staffing issues that everywhere else has as well. So we have a lot of nonprofits come in and work our concession stands, and we raised a lot of money. We pay them, their organization, for each one of their employees that they provide us. Pros and cons, obviously the nonprofit comes in, they may have never even seen our registers before, and they get better as the game goes on, but we have such a great community, and it's, lines can get long sometime, but everybody for the most part, was very understanding and worked with us throughout this year. So, all right, the instructional camps. These were a lot of fun. We had the Trash Pandas Day Camp, which we lived off of in 2020. We became a daycare, if everybody remembers, last year, or in 2020. We dialed it down a little bit and had one of those, and it's still a lot of fun. We get kids coming off, drop them off, and they're wild. They're wild. You get that much of a big open space, and kids want to put sunscreen in refrigerators and making out with the windows and all that stuff. So they can make a mess, but they have a lot of fun. Youth instructional baseball camp. We had our Trash Panda players run those camps, and they get to hang out with all the Trash Panda players and get some good coaching in there as well. So, all right, the 2022 schedule is out. We got a full slate of 69 home games. Our first game is on the road in Birmingham on April 8th, which is right around the corner. And our first home game is April 12th against the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, who we finished with last year and lost our last 4 games to COVID with them. So it'd be nice to get a full series in with them. And you can see where we have 25 firework nights, and team shows up on April 3rd, which is Sunday, makes me a little nervous, but we're ready for them. We're excited about it. We have a great manager, great coaching staff, and a great group of kids coming to spend their summer in Rocket City. So we're excited about that. So, all right. Again, just want to thank everyone for all their support this year. The city and the Trash Pandas, I think we make a great team. We see things and we get them fixed as quickly as we can, and just through repetition, we're gonna continue to get better. So I appreciate everything. Thank you. Any questions for me?
Just want to thank you for all that y'all have done. I know it's been a long road, and y'all have done an excellent job.
It's been a long road, but I got a great staff, and we're a big team, and it's great to be in this area and have such a great city to work with and community to work with.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
So Garrett, while you're there, one of the things we'll do is we'll post this tomorrow on the website, along with the audited letter that came from Warren Averett, and I'll just read the very back part of it. According, we perform procedures to test certain revenues and expenses of Ballcorps related to parking revenues, base license fees, performance license fees, non-baseball events. Completed our procedures to date. Based on the procedures performed, we noted only one minor variance of less than $200. Of course, they got to find one. One less than $200 related. Everything else that they found no significant deviations in what Ballcorps LLC reported to the city related to certain revenues and expenses. So we really appreciate what you guys have done. It was a great transition. It took a little bit longer this time, and a lot of that was COVID leaving and just on our part, asking for more. And you guys provided everything we asked for it in a timely manner, and we can't be any more thankful. And I know Renee was looking for it in the same way. She would have liked it about a month earlier, but that falls to us more not so than you, so.
Yeah, and
It was a good learning experience for us, especially, with, we have a new director of finance that came in June, and we're trying to, pick up things from early on and trying to get those things wrapped up. But it was a good learning experience, and looking forward to getting this stuff ready earlier in the year, so.
yeah, I think we talked about that at the Finance Committee meeting. What we could do is start that process a little bit earlier. Once your season ends, we'll know a lot of the information at that point. And it's a learning process, I guess, on both sides. And of course, you've had some staffing changes. I did have a question. I noticed that you were doing some job fairs, and I know last year was tremendously challenging. How is staffing going this year? Because we just had a discussion about staffing in our work session. How's it going for Trash Pandas?
No, I think it's going good. We're fully staffed in the front office, so we're ready to go there. We have we have a whole bunch of interns that came in from locally and all over the country that are here to help out. And then, our game day staff we're always going to be wanting, more. It's this industry in general, you're not going to get rich doing it. It's more of a, you're doing it for fun, and yeah, you get paid to watch baseball. That's kind of your perk, even though I can't say that to a cook. Yeah, you can see that, you can hear the game maybe, but it's going to be again, we're going to rely on nonprofits coming in and really helping us out. They bring in 20 people at a time. That really helps. Again, just the flip side is there's a little bit more of a learning curve. They don't have the repetition that we will get with a regular employee.
Thanks, Garrett.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
April 12th, right? Opening day.
I'll be there.
All right.
Next is public comments. We don't have anyone signed up. Does anyone like to address council and mayor?
They all kind of want him.
Everybody's leaving.
Yep. I think we're good.
You'd like to address council and mayor? Yes, ma'am. Well, come on down. Yes, ma'am.
Who's the next contestant?
Off your game.
Say my name.
I believe we've met before.
I think we have. You don't usually have the work sessions in here, and I would like to ask you to use your microphones when you have it in here. You couldn't hear back here at all.
Yes, ma'am.
What you're talking. I mean, I don't think you ever say anything, hopefully, that you don't want the public to.
Hold on one second. Hey, guys, if you guys going to slide on out, there you go. Thank you.
Just use the microphones.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's no big deal, I don't think.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't come to, well, I didn't hear half what went on. Okay. It's nice to hear about the Trash Pandas. I don't like to say that word, but I'm saying it. Have we got now $1 million yet?
That's,
He just mentioned a few, he didn't give the total.
yeah, there's a payment schedule. We've received several pieces of that, and it will all be paid by, what's the final date that it has to be paid? Is it April?
15th?
April 15th. We'll have every bit of it.
That's an important date. So we'll have $1 million by then.
Yes, ma'am. You have 1,246,877. $1,246,877 was the total,
Very good.
and they will have it by April 15th.
That's very good to get over that.
It is, really is.
I mean, with a short season, I don't know why they didn't mention things like that, because with the short seasons and raining out and this, that, and the other, I think they did real good.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Now, last year's Trash Pandas budget, we never received the million, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So my question is, do we have a total of everything we spent? Because, you know, you're saying we're getting 1.2, but we were kind of led to believe we were going to make a lot more than that. The 1 million just satisfies the bonds that we owe.
So why do you,
So last year, we were short 300,000 because of whatever, and now this season, we're only getting 1.2, but I saw on the agenda, in the budget, we just put out 214,000 plus on netting, safety netting, which I understand, it's a necessary thing. But still, so we're really not gonna balance, we're just paying off the bonds with this money, because the 1 million that was obligated was only a guaranteed. We were supposed to be making much more than that because we're only just not even breaking even for the last 2 years, if that's what we're gonna get. 1.2, 2 went on the netting. I would like to know, are we keeping track of every penny? I've seen consultants be paid over the, you know, several dozen council meetings. There's much money going out. Sometimes it comes from the general fund, sometimes it comes from another fund, and it's usually a good bit of money. So are we getting that back, or nothing that comes out of the general fund, do we get that back? Is there a record of this?
there is a record. Part of what we also had in one of the recommendations was each year we would have a fund available just in case we needed to spend money on the ballpark for safety issues or upgrades. This year, so that's $300,000 a year that the city sets aside, that if we need it, we use it. The first year we used it on netting. Now, we don't plan on using it for a couple more years if we don't have to build it up, but we always want to continue to maintain an asset that we have. It's no different from putting a roof on or carpet or different things like that. Also, it's not necessarily always, and I'll stop and I'll let you finish and then we'll go from there. If you have anything else, then I'll, yeah.
Yes, I would like to speak of, okay, I noticed something on the agenda where it states that, sometimes you're gonna add things onto the council meeting. Agenda note, it should be noted that there are times when circumstances arise that require items to be added or deleted from the agenda at the time of the council meeting. According to the Open Public Meetings Act, any kind of, thing that's gonna be added on, you have a certain time, it's 7 days actually, but they accept within 24 hours notice. So that would mean whatever's on the internet on Friday, when you guys close City Hall, that should be the only thing allowed on the agenda, unless, and the Open Meetings Act is clear, that it has to be like emergencies. A pipe breaks, gas is leaking, water's leaking, there's a flood, there's a weather, otherwise you're not supposed to, with parliamentary procedures and the Open Meetings Act, add anything to the agenda. I mean, that's, you know, our Alabama Open Meetings Act. So, isn't this kind of usurping the Alabama public meetings by doing this, saying you're gonna add stuff on, possibly? And I notice it happens a lot. Mostly, almost every council meeting, something's getting added on that wasn't on there on Friday. I pick up the agendas on the Friday before the council meeting just to see what's going on. Then I get here, and there's other things added. Now, that's really not supposed to happen under our Constitution, the state of Alabama. Just, now I'd like to talk about Dublin Park. I'll take 30 seconds.
All right, 30 seconds.
Okay.
We'll roll.
Basically, we have given away the fields to the AYSO, who is a non-profit, but the revenue is 76 million plus. So in other words, any child that wants to go on that field has to pay a private org. Now, Dublin is a donated park for the people and residents of Madison. It should not be handed to a private org out of California with a revenue stream of 76 million. And our children should not have to pay this private org to make them abundant financial, I don't know what they do with the money, I looked at it, but,
Ms.
and
Bailey,
they
we gonna
don't
have to-
use the fields.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, are we gonna take some of those down, those gates, and let the children and the residents of Madison use it? Or are we just gonna, it doesn't get used. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone else? If not, we'll move into the consent agenda and Finance Committee report.
Okay, Finance Committee met last week, and we discussed the mid-year budget amendment, which will be coming up later for vote. And we also reviewed the items on the consent agenda, pretty short list, and so with that, I'm going to move to approve.
Can I get a second? A second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye. Motion passes. Next is presentation of reports, and we'll start with the mayor.
All right, I just had two quick things. One thing that we had fun doing last week here at City Hall was putting together a video to thank our Madison Hospital folks for the time over the last 2 years that they've dealt with COVID, more so than any of us. So thanks to everybody at City Hall who participated in that. We put it out on all the social media. Hope you guys get a chance to see it. But to Mary Lynn Wright and her entire team at Madison Hospital, we thank them for everything that they continue to do for the city. It's their 10-year anniversary. I know there's plenty of celebrations going on with them, but very positive on that. And along those same notes, you know, one of the things that makes our community great is the people who give back. One of the best people in doing that is Joe Newberry. Joe's a Madison resident. His daughter actually is deeply involved with the city of Madison, but he's the president of Recreational Federal Credit Union, and he was named the Huntsville Chamber of Commerce's Distinguished Service Award winner this year for all that he does for the different communities. And I just wanted to make sure we recognize Joe. He's just such a strong leader for that credit union. They're nationally ranked, or one of the top 5 or 6 in the nation because of his leadership. Madison resident who continues to give back, and it's a great award, and we appreciate him. So with that said, it's all I have.
Very good. District number 1.
Yes, sir, I just have 2 items. Also, I wasn't able to make the video because I was at UAH, and want to thank Emily Peck for inviting me, Commissioner Strong, and Council President Meredith to come and speak to her state and local class, government class, political science class at UAH. Really appreciate that. And I put this out before. If you ever have an opportunity that you would like us to come and speak to one of your organizations, please reach out to your council member. And then my second item is our bi-monthly Shops Local Spotlight, and it's Bubbles Car Wash. They're located at 1633 Hughes Road, brand new business, also a great community partner for us because they are washing all of our police cars once a month. And so we're very appreciative of that. I guess the fire engines maybe can't fit through the car wash, but very much appreciate their support and in helping our police department look shiny and spiffy. So many thanks to them, and that's all I have.
Very good. District number 2.
Yes, I wanted to mention that we have a whole lot of ribbon cuttings that have just happened and that are coming up. Several new businesses opening in Madison, and that's very exciting. Our chamber is doing a wonderful job of sending out the information. It's on their website about these new businesses, and the excitement is growing in our city. Also, the Chamber of Commerce, the Madison Chamber of Commerce, has restarted their Lunch and Learn program. The mayor and I both went last week to their first new one since COVID started, and they had Peggy Lee Wright speak. She's a very exciting woman. She's a Black Hawk pilot and owns her own business now in Huntsville, and it was a very, very worthwhile effort to go and be a part of that, and I want to commend our chamber for stepping up the excitement that they're in all of the events that they're holding throughout the city. That's all.
Very good. District number 3.
No new business.
District number 5.
Okay, first I have resolution number 2022-99-R. It is our mid-year budget amendment that we covered in the work session just before our council meeting. It is a modest budget amendment primarily to cover COLA expenses that we passed in January, and a few other things, an increase in the recreation budget, reserving a little extra money for fuel and the increased cost in that. And with that, I'd like to move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine, nay. Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
And motion passes.
And then I just have a couple of things. I'm going to piggyback on the mayor's recognition of Joe Newberry. He's a Madison resident, and he's also a District 5 resident. But he has a son and a daughter who also live in Madison, and his grandkids attend Madison City Schools. So he is an outstanding citizen, and of course, we're so happy that the chamber recognized his service. And then an update on Highland Drive. I think those of you who live out that way know that it has been paved and the side roads are almost complete. And then the next question you're going to have is, when does the striping occur? And so Public Works has updated me that it's going to take a month for the road to cure before they can stripe the road. So the earliest you'd be able to see striping occur would be at the very end of April, but I wanted to give you an update on what the timing would be on that. And that's all I have.
Very good. District number 6.
All right, I'd like to start out with the school board. We are still accepting applications. Currently, we have 11 applicants. The deadline for putting in your application is April 4th. So please apply. This is your time to have input into the policies of the school. I know there are so many parents that have been so involved. Now is the time to come forward and put in your application to be on the board. So April 4th is our last day.
Bless you.
Senior Center, again, we're looking for volunteers. I worked in the kitchen a couple days last week. I've been greeter a couple times, and I'll be working a couple more days this week. They definitely have a need for volunteers. It's really quite fun. It's delight working with the, how did they put it, the actively aging residents of our town. It's a good opportunity to get out there and serve. I had a wise friend. I said, what more can I do? How can I help somebody in Ukraine? And they're like, well, you can pray for them, but look in your own community and see what ways you can help here and help those that are suffering and need here. So this is just one opportunity. There are so many in our city. Also, the Madison Street Festival. We had our committee meeting last Wednesday. We are going to do something new this year. The Madison Street Committee will be holding a town hall for the residents and business owners who will be affected by the festival itself. This will allow them the chance to bring forth questions and concerns so we can address them while we are currently planning this festival. So that town hall is going to be Thursday, April 14th, from 6 to 7 o'clock at the Fellowship of Faith Church on Maple Street. So, as always, I'm all about listening to the people in ways that we can improve the festival or be better neighbors to those that are owning businesses down in downtown. So, please mark your calendar for April 14th for that. Hughes update, I want to thank Samantha and Greg Parker for the article that they put together in the Madison Record. It is unfortunate that we have all these delays, but they did explain what was going on, and together we will all get through this. Excuse me. My role as school liaison this Wednesday is the Mental Health Matters for Families, Part 2, a deeper dive, from 5:30 to 7:30, right down here at Bob Jones. They are going to be holding mental health sessions. Okay, there's going to be 6 different sessions that you can choose 2 of them, but they're dealing with anxiety, depression in youth, supporting children and teens through loss, family communication skills, trauma and the teen brain, building self-confidence and self-image in your student. It's just so important right now that we support the mental health of our children. And I love that the Madison PTA, the city schools, is putting this together. So all you have to do is, it's real easy, go to the Facebook page, you can register, it's totally free, they just want a head count on who's going to be there. But again, it starts at 5:30 down at Bob Jones. If you have any children, if you're any way involved with this, I would really encourage you to be there. I already have my tickets where I'll be there that night. So, these are all important things that are happening in our community, and that's all I have.
And District number 7.
Only thing I'll say is, I want to thank the mayor and Public Works for getting the sidewalk effort started. I've traveled quite a bit this month, and I come back and I see a sidewalk almost all the way down Gillespie to County Line Road, and I've gotten several emails from constituents that are thankful for that, so appreciate that effort. And in the communication with them, it was, starting to realize that you can now, you have to go through neighborhoods, which is part of the plan. You can now go from Hughes Road to County Line Road, both multi-use paths, you gotta cross the roads, but you can get there via sidewalks, all the way. So if you have a hankering to do a long run or a long walk, you can go from Hughes to County Line now through some neighborhoods, so, really appreciate the efforts on that. That's it.
Very good, thank you. Next is, board committee appointments. We have one for the IBB board, place 4.
Say it again.
Easy for you to say.
I'd like to nominate Kent Ballard for place 4 on the Industrial Development Board.
Is any other not nominations? Not, then we will appoint him by acclamation.
Thank you.
There are no public hearings scheduled, so we'll move into department head meetings. We'll start with engineering.
I have 5 items for your consideration tonight. Item number 1 is resolution number 2022-93R. It's requesting approval for a professional service agreement with Barge Design Solutions. It's for the CE&I on the A-Trip 2 project at Wall-Triana Highway and graphics, and it's not to exceed $185,584.96.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Council President Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item number 2 is resolution number 2022-92R. It's requesting approval for change order number 8 on the Sullivan Street widening project in the amount of $47,293.33.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Council President Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item number 3 is resolution number 2022-096R. It's requesting approval on accepting a quote for Nearmap US Inc. It's a subscription for aerial photography for use with our GIS system in the amount of $8,000.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Council President Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item number 4 is resolution number 2022-103R. It's requesting approval for the supplement agreement to the A-Trip project for the widening and resurfacing of Wall-Triana.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Robleski.
Aye.
Councilmember Powell.
Aye.
Council President Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Spears.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett.
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item number 5 is, it's the second reading for ordinance number 2022-079. It's requesting the dedication and acceptance of right-of-way on Town Madison Boulevard. From one piece is for us and the other is from Madison UC.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all
Corey.
get a ball down there if y'all gonna keep up with us.
Hey, man, know your role.
Good evening. My first item is Resolution 2022-094-R, awarding bid for tree removal services to Ogle Tree Service in the amount of $52,000. This project is mainly on the Bradford Creek Greenway. We have several hazard trees that need to be removed as hazards to either property or people.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion in a couple of seconds.
See, she tried to get in.
And none of the
Bartlett.
storms took care of any of those this last year.
Not that I'm aware of. Took care of one, but it wasn't on the list to be removed.
There you go, of course.
Of course not.
Thank
We
you
won't-
for
we won't
getting
put that
out
one on
there.
there.
That's
Thank
future
y'all
cost
for getting
savings.
out there and clearing out those, the debris that did fall.
Absolutely.
Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes.
My second item is Resolution 2022-095-R, awarding bid to Struthers Recreation LLC for the Kids Kingdom Playground Equipment Installation in the amount of $78,486. As many of you know, we are in the process of renovating the Kids Kingdom Playground. It's about 10 years outlived its lifespan. This playground will be inclusive. This is just for the installation only.
Move to approve.
Second.
How long you want me to wait?
I sounded better.
Yeah, I got you.
All right,
Jump ball.
I got it.
Is there any discussion?
Corey, are we still on track for, kind of demolition in the next month and installation in the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
I hope so. We have got the design completed. I'm meeting with Kent, here soon to look at the demo, and the site work. I gotta catch some water coming off that parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be some site work. It just depends on when we expect the playground equipment to arrive with COVID and
Sure.
supply chain shortages. I am checking with our representative. He's been on vacation the last week, so I'll have a better answer tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you.
If you need some help with demo, I got a 13-year-old boy that does really good.
A lot of demo.
Yeah, he's really good.
Boy. One thing with that, when we mention demo, we will salvage some of the historical pieces of that playground. So people that bought pickets back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
they can either get their picket or we're gonna do a memorial tower to the first playground project.
Very good.
Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Motion passes.
My final item is Resolution 2022-102-R, authorizing license agreement with Hexagon Improved Properties LLC for the use of their recreational sports fields. The old Intergraph complex, there's two softball fields over there that they've been nice enough to allow us to use for adult programs. We have adult leagues that are full, and we only have really one field the size to handle adult programs, so that'll give us 2 additional fields, which will allow more teams to participate.
Good.
Move to approve.
You go ahead, John.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Seifert,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine.
Motion passes.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you, Corey. Filling in for legal?
I'm filling in.
All right.
Okay, so, I've got, let me back it up and explain what I'm doing. In the mid-year budget amendment resolution, there were a couple of paragraphs in there addressing an update to internal policies that had previously required quotes to be obtained, even though they did not surpass the bid law limitations. So we corrected that. We had been meeting in Finance Committee for a couple of months, updating that policy so that you would only require quotes if you indeed fell under the bid law. Now, when we went through that, Megan discovered a couple of paragraphs in existing ordinance under finance and taxation that listed the previous dollar amount that is no longer the bid law limit. And so what she did was drafted an amendment to the ordinance, which is what you have before you, that actually takes out a dollar amount, and it just is worded that it keeps current with the bid law limits. And so it will be able to transition as state law transitions on bid law. In order to correct this ordinance, though, and because that is the intent of council when we pass the budget amendment, we need to suspend the rules first and then move on passing the ordinance. So I'd like to first move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? If not, can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
And motion passes.
And now I'd like to move to pass ordinance number 2022-105, amending Chapter 16 of the Madison City Code entitled Financing and Taxation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Can I get the vote, please?
Councilmember Bartlett,
Aye.
Councilmember Spears,
Aye.
Council President Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Robleski,
Aye.
Councilmember Powell,
Aye.
Councilmember Denzine,
Aye.
Councilmember Seifert.
Aye.
Motion passes. Is there any miscellaneous business or announcements? Motion to adjourn?
Move to
Move.
adjourn.